Let's try and solve this quadratic inequality where the quadratic must be strictly less than 0. So let's try and sketch a graph first. So draw this graph, x squared plus 3x minus 10. So have a quick sketch. Intercept of negative 10. So imagine this is negative 10 and it's going uphill with a gradient of 3. So that's roughly speaking, it has a gradient of 3, and then it wants to do a quadratic. So put your pen nib here and then take it down, turn it around, and then put your pen nib here, take it straight up. There, the graph will look something like this. So what it's saying is that when, remember this here represents a graph. So this whole thing here represents a graph. It's saying when will the graph be less than 0? You see, the graph would be less than 0 from here to here. So it really boils down to you trying to find the two roots. If you can identify the two roots, then you can say from the root here all the way to this root here, the graph would be strictly less than 0. So it boils down to you trying to find the two roots. So in your mind, visualize this. In your mind, find the two roots. So in your mind, just visualize this. Plus x minus 10 equals 0. So just try and find the two roots. Once we identify the two roots, then we can answer this question. So to find the two roots, factorize the equation. So xx. Your biggest clues is 10. Two numbers multiplied together to give you a 10. It could be a 10 and a 1. It could be a 2 and a 5. And you have to be able to create the 3. So this 3 here, I know I can create a 3 with a 2 and a 5. I can't with a 10 and a 1. So now I'm going to guess 5. It turns out to be x plus 5, x minus 2 equals 0. So what that means is this here is, if you put a negative 5 into here, the whole thing would be 0. So this would be negative 5. If you put a positive 2 into here, the whole thing would be 0. It turns out that this is negative 5 and this is negative 2. So to answer the question, when will the graph be strictly less than 0? So x would be strictly less than 0 when x is bigger than negative 5. And remember, it can't be equal to, otherwise it would be 0. But we want strictly less than 0. So it has to be, x must be strictly bigger than negative 5. And it has to be less than positive 2. There. So this here is your final answer. Okay?